Hello guys and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a test with a patrol. Unfortunately, like I think a majority of us have noticed, there's been a lot of patrols getting stolen recently and it's really horrible. With the latest one being a poor mum having the patrol stolen while she was loading groceries. That was just horrible. Small child in the car. Just terrible. Really terrible. I really feel for that family. Being a father myself to a young son, I could just imagine what was going on in their heads through that moment. So it'd be very scary and just really horrible for everyone involved in that. So very lucky to get the child back. Is goodness me, it could have been a heap worse. Car's replaceable. Doesn't matter, you can get another one. Nissan is still making them. Insurance covers that. But with human life, it's a completely different story. So very lucky, very lucky. So today we're going to go through and I'm going to demonstrate what happens, different situations of how the car is locked, what locks, what doesn't, how it sort of all works, because there was a lot of questions raised about, can you lock the car with the boot open? Can you do this? Can you do that? What happens if there's no key in the car? So we're going to go through all that today, and we're just going to find out what happens. I know how a lot of it happens because I do it quite often, and it is quite safe, but you just have to, be quite cognizant, because it's very easy to bump something and then all of a sudden the car's unlocked, and then there's obviously a security issue. So for me, living in Queensland, theft and stuff is quite rife here, so security is huge, and something that I'm thinking about quite often, and making sure that the vehicle is locked. So I suppose the most simple thing we'll do first is fuel filler. So obviously you can set the patrol up to either unlock one door or all doors, depending on how you want it set up. So for me, when I press the unlock button, the driver's door unlocks, but everything is still locked, and I have to double tap that unlock button for the car to then unlock all the doors. Cool, bit of a pain in the ass, but it's a hell of a lot safer. So it's definitely, that little bit of inconvenience is certainly worth it in the safety terms. All right, so like we know, when the car's locked, fuel filler is locked. So the car's locked right now, and I can't get into that. Obviously, you can pry it open if you really want to get in there, but that's not the point of what we're doing. That's locked, right? Get our keys, unlock, and now that's obviously unlocked. Now you can get in there. Now what I like to do is, when I'm at the servo, I like to unlock the car, and then as soon as I get out and open this, bang, I'll lock it again. Okay, obviously here's our little locking mechanism for this, which goes into here and locks it, and obviously the little spring release in here obviously won't activate because the car's locked. Now that's all well and good, car's secure, right? Done filling up, you don't have to unlock it again, you just force that closed and it moves over that, and now it's locked again. Okay, so now we're all good there. Now, as I mentioned before, my car's set up to just unlock the driver's door when the unlock button is pressed once. So I'll unlock that. You can hear driver's door unlocked, passenger door won't unlock, press it again, and we're in. So what happens in that unfortunate situation where you're wanting to load up groceries in the back but you want to lock the car? Now the patrol is good in the fact that you can have the doors locked but the boot open. So we're currently in the unlocked state at the moment. Come around to the boot, we'll lock the car, car's locked, and then you can open the boot, okay, into the boot. Keys are here, going in my pocket, doors are locked, okay? So our doors are locked, but we can still access the boot. We can go in here, even the driver's door locked, right? So we can't get into that. We can't actually get into the car. We have obviously full control over the boot space. Nobody can do anything because we can see everything. Obviously, if you're bending down, picking up groceries, I mean, it's such a terrible thing, the state in which we live in today, where you have to be literally scanning all the time around you because, it's shit like that happens. And it's just really horrible, and it just should not happen. So this sort of safety stuff is just really paramount these days, especially with high value vehicles like this. I mean, people know about them, people know that they've got a V8, people know the price tag on them, and unfortunately it's like one of them things, sort of a car that likes to be targeted. As we were saying, like Y62s are increasingly getting stolen, and it's like, what is going on? So yeah, it's really terrible. And please, by no means I want to come across as seeing like I'm blaming anyone for this, what has happened, why people's cars have got stolen, anything like that. I mean, it's such a just unfortunate thing that happens. And it's nobody's fault, because you don't think, oh yeah, somebody's just going to steal my car whilst I'm loading groceries. You don't think of that, but unfortunately you really have to be in that state of mind to think, rightio, who's around, what's going on, is the car locked, is this, is it that? You have to be so careful. You can access this boot space and the whole car is locked, and obviously you can shut that down again. Obviously it locks itself. Now I'm going to put the keys over there on the bench, right? The car's still locked, and I can still open that boot because it's already in that preset of, okay, cool, I've opened before, the car's still locked, but I can still open. So the boot can still be opened, even if the keys aren't in proximity, because that is how the boot opens. It senses that the keys are nearby, so then the boot will open. So this is a little bit of a drawback, because the keys aren't anywhere near the car, and we'll go through what proximity the keys will actually work with the car. So obviously this is actually too far away, so it shouldn't be able to open if the car had already been in a state of lock. So the whole car is locked, including the boot. But because we've been in the state of the keys have been near it and we've been able to open the boot, it'll continue to do that. Just keep that in mind, that if you lock the car and then think, oh, I need to open the boot to get something out, and then go to close it and then think that, oh yeah, cool, the car's locked because I've locked it, the boot should lock. It won't. We now move into the proximity of how the key will work to open the doors. So, pretty simple test. We're just going to leave the key sitting on the tyre, okay? Might be something you do. You might be out in the bush, gone hunting, something like that. Obviously no one's around, fairly safe, and you've just hidden the keys somewhere on the tyre, perhaps, something like that. Okay, so how far would we be away? Probably about 1.5 meters. Okay, won't open. Doors won't open from this distance. Obviously, there's interference with the body of the car to that signal, but you get the picture. Even if we put the keys down there on the ground, okay, we're still the same distance. Door still doesn't open. So now we'll move it to, say, what's that? Maybe 1 meter away. It still doesn't open. Still can't open the car. What if we are right, pretty bang in line? Bang, it opens. So that's how far the keys need to be before the door will open. So you've got to be, standing where you typically would stand to unlock the car. In a typical situation, keys are in your pocket, bang, I've obviously locked it now. Typical sort of a distance. So that's how close we need to be for the keys to actually activate and do their job. What happens if we unlock the car, right? We unlock the car, for instance sake, we've accidentally dropped the keys, and we go to start the vehicle. So the keys obviously aren't in the car. Try to start it. Nothing happens. No key comes up. Okay, obviously got no key, right? So we'll grab our keys. Car obviously senses that. Comes up now. Foot on the brake. Starts up, right? All well and good. Now what happens if we take the keys out of the vehicle? Alright, nothing happens. Okay, I'm going to leave the keys under my hat here. Okay, under there. Keys aren't in the car. I don't have a secondary set of keys in here because you obviously seen that the car wouldn't start the first time. Now it's just going to say no key and it's just going to beep at you. Okay, but I can still put that car into drive, handbrake's off, and I'm driving. Alright? The car doesn't care. The car doesn't do anything. Okay, I can still do everything as normal. The car doesn't care, carries on as normal, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't shut down, doesn't go into limp mode, doesn't do anything funky. There's nothing. But as soon as you turn that car off, no key. Okay, so it's not going to start. All right, so that's something. All right, so we've gone over a few scenarios of things that can happen day-to-day sort of life. While they can be smart with its proximity sensing and all that sort of thing, it's also still quite dumb in some respects, and the fact that the car will still continue to drive without a key, because there is vehicles out there that as soon as that key isn't in the vehicle, the car won't work in certain aspects, whether it means that you can't shift the vehicle out of park, or it will shut off, or something will happen to immobilize the vehicle because it realizes there's no key. If it's a simple mistake and you've accidentally done that, well, it'll be beeping at you and it'll be telling you a warning, so a bit inconvenient if it just stops. If it's been stolen without the key, at least then the vehicle stops, and then you have a chance to apprehend that individual, or at least get your car back. So what can we do to eliminate this sort of stuff from happening? Look, like I did mention before, we unfortunately live in a terrible world where this sort of stuff is occurring more and more, and people are facing really tough times, and in tough times people do very primal things. I suppose, what can we do to sort of protect our vehicles and the things that we work hard for and the things we enjoy driving and touring this beautiful country? There's a few things you can do. There's a lot of different options out there, and it's something that you shouldn't have to do, but unfortunately it's something that you sort of is a really good investment. So obviously there's a lot of immobilizers out there nowadays that will immobilize a vehicle. They've got GPS tracking, and you can remotely shut off a vehicle if it's stolen, that sort of thing. They work really good. I think Torquet also has something as well, but probably extremely expensive. I think they've got a thing where it's like an OBD2 reader. You plug it in and it has different modes. It's got like a valet mode or something where the car can't be driven over a certain speed. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember too much about it, but I know that they do have something. And then obviously, there's all the various manufacturers of all the different immobilizers that are making products that can be installed into the vehicle to obviously, if it is stolen, it can be either shut down or it just won't start. Another really simple thing you can do is go into your fuse box, and if you live in a place where crime is rampant, it's a little bit inconvenient, but it's a lot less inconvenient than having your vehicle stolen, and that is to remove the fuel pump relay out of your fuse box. Like I said, a little bit inconvenient. You got to take it out every time that you come home, and then put it in every time you want to use the car. The vehicle will not start without that. The fuel pump relay obviously tells the fuel pump, cool, the car's about to be turned on. It sends that signal to the fuel pump to prime, and then to obviously run, so the vehicle works. So the vehicle literally cannot go anywhere without that in there. And cool, if they're smart enough, yeah, cool, you can bridge that so it does work. But I mean, they're not going to know that. They're just going to think, right, cool, vehicle's not starting, we're just going to bail. A lot of it is opportunistic. A lot of it, they're not too smart. A lot of it, they're not going to want to sit there and troubleshoot something. They want to be in and out as quick as possible, because if you can do easy things like that don't cost you anything and will make things difficult for someone, then you've got a much higher chance of not having it stolen. Moreover on that is just being really cognizant of your surroundings, the places that you are, what you're doing, what state the vehicle's in, and just making sure that it is locked. I always double check my door handles as soon as I get out of the vehicle. It's just like muscle memory now, something that I always do, just because I need to make sure that the vehicle's locked. Again, I'm not blaming anyone for anything that's happened to them. We all have lapses in our judgment. Our lives are stressful, and people do forget things. And we especially don't think that our vehicles are going to get stolen right in front of us like that. So it's just really horrible situations and things that just should not happen. But unfortunately they do. So guys, that'll wrap up for today's video. I hope you've gotten something out of it and learnt something. Education is seriously the best sort of defense against this sort of stuff. I can't even believe I have to make a video on it. You know, it's just so horrible that you can't even put groceries in your car without somebody like preying on you like that. It's horrible, and like I said at the start of the video, my heart really goes out to that family. You know, it's one thing to have your vehicle stolen, but to have your child inside that vehicle whilst it was stolen, I could not imagine what was going through their minds during that time. Like I said, very lucky to, you know, be able to get the kid back and safe. That's, you know, the biggest thing. Like I said, vehicles can be replaced, but lives cannot. So yeah, super lucky. And you know, as sad as it is to lose a patrol, it was a TIL as well. It looked really nice. So yeah, just horrible. So I hope their insurance really comes to the party with that, and you know, they don't have any dramas getting a new one back. But like I said, you know, at least all their family members are safe and sound, and none of them were injured. I heard some bystanders who helped out to actually get that child back were injured in the process, and you know, props to them. Like, that's awesome. You don't really see people helping out in them situations nowadays. Everyone's just filming it and being a bystander. But to actively be involved in that and to help out, that's awesome. And I hope those people got a lot of praise, because they certainly deserve it. So yeah, like I said, guys, I hope you really got something out of today's video and you learned something about just the states of the vehicle and what it does in its unlock and lock states, and what it does when the key isn't present in the vehicle. So like I said, knowledge is power, and to be armed with that so you know what's going on and what it will do is pretty important. Please be very safe out there in today's world. It's just going crazy. Just, yeah, go to work, stay home, get out in the bush, don't go anywhere else pretty much. I hope you've learnt something from today's video. If anyone's got any questions, comments, or anything they would like to pitch in, please feel free to down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed the video, make sure you give me a like. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, because it really helps me out, and I really do appreciate it. So stay safe out there, guys. Enjoy your patrols. Hug your loved ones at night. And I'll see you at the next video.